Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission today, it's pretty straightforward. We are basically trying to build a playbook, right? To maximize your return on investment flipping late model salvage vehicles. We're talking 2018 through 2025 models.
Yeah, this isn't about finding some dusty classic in a barn. This is modern metal, modern market speed.
Exactly. And we've gathered a bunch of sources that really pinpoint the best targets for acquisition and repair.
And look, this particular deep dive, it's really geared towards your specific advantage. That background in automotive engineering, that technical skill, it instantly puts you way ahead of the curve.
How so?
Well, think about the complexity in these newer cars. You've got advanced driver assistance systems, AD, hybrid powertrains. Frankly, it scares most people off. Your ability to actually diagnose and fix these systems, that's your ticket into a high-margin niche that, honestly, your competitors are probably avoiding.
Okay, makes sense. So let's dig into the core strategy then. Why the focus only on 2018 and newer? Seems quite specific.
It really comes down to two things: buyer psychology and financing. There's just huge predictable demand for cars with modern tech connectivity, safety features, all that stuff.
Right, people expect it now.
They do, and maybe even more importantly, these newer cars, usually the ones under 7 years old, they qualify for much better financing options for your eventual buyer. That just widens your customer pool massively, helps guarantee a quicker sale.
And our sources pointed out something really interesting. You called it the Nebraska threshold advantage. Sounds specific, but why is that relevant generally?
Okay, yeah, it sounds local, but the principle applies broadly when you're looking at auction vehicles. Many states, Nebraska included, set the salvage threshold for newer cars, say 7 years old or less, at 75% of the vehicle's value.
Okay, and how does that compare?
Well, compare that to other states where a car might get totaled out at only 50% damage to value ratio.
I see. So if a car gets written off in one of those 50% states, it could have really serious, maybe frame damage.
Exactly. But if it's totaled in a 75% threshold state, what are you more likely seeing? Less severe damage?
Statistically, yes. It's much more likely to be, say, cosmetic damage plus some expensive sensors needing replacement, or maybe an isolated mechanical failure like a broken axle, something that didn't compromise the core structure.
So the underlying car is probably okay.
Often, yes. It means you're filtering for potentially better, lower risk candidates right from the auction block. That's a strategic filter you should apply.
That's a great insight. Okay, knowing that, let's talk specific models. For consistent turnover, volume, reliability, what are the go-tos?
Well, for volume and just sheer reliability, the Japanese brands still dominate. No surprise there. The Toyota Camry 2018 to 2025, that's your workhorse. Reliable, predictable profit, usually somewhere between, say, $3,000 to $6,000 per flip.
Okay, solid.
Then you got the Honda Accord, maybe 2018 to 2022 models.
Yeah.
They hold their value incredibly well, which can push your profit potential maybe closer to $7,000. Buyers just trust them.
But the real money, the consistent high demand, seems to be in SUVs and trucks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The Toyota RV4 and Honda CR-V, again, thinking 2018 to 2024, they are just perpetually in demand. Get this, even with a rebuilt title, they often hold 80 to 85% of their clean title value. It's kind of amazing.
Oh, that's strong.
You really can't go wrong flipping those. The market just absorbs them.
And for the absolute top end of ROI,
Yeah.
the peak, got to be trucks.
It is, hands down. The Ford F-150, maybe 2018 to 2023, and the Toyota Tacoma, they consistently deliver the biggest margins.
Any specific examples stand out?
Yeah, one source mentioned an F-150, a high trim like a King Ranch, totaled because of what was essentially minor front end damage. Needed a new headlight assembly, bumper cover, nothing structural at all.
And the profit.
$14,000, just staggering.
Right.
So the repairs can be manageable, demand is always there, and you're looking realistically at, $8,000 to $15,000 profit per truck. It's a different league.
Okay, so after hitting the big volume with trucks, let's maybe shift gears. Let's talk about a niche where passion drives sales, the enthusiast market. Manual sports cars.
Yeah, this is a fun segment and profitable too. These buyers often care more about the driving experience and specific features, maybe overlooking the rebuilt title discount a bit more readily. We're talking great handling, and almost always a manual transmission is key.
So the king of quick flips here has to be the Miata, right? Mazda MX-5. Simple, light, always in demand.
Spot on, easy to work on, quick turnaround. Then you've got performance all-wheel drive, Think Subaru WRX or the STI. They have this incredibly loyal, almost cult following.
And the ROI potential there.
Pretty good, maybe 25 to 35% is achievable. The manual Volkswagen Golf GTI is another strong contender, especially popular in cities.
And the American muscle.
Can't forget those. Manual versions of the Chevy Camaro and Ford Mustang GT, they just always have buyers ready.
Okay, but what if you're willing to invest more for a higher potential return, premium segment?
Right. Sources point towards European sports cars here, specifically the Porsche 718 Cayman and Boxster, again, focusing on the manual.
But the repair costs must be way higher.
Yeah.
Oh, significantly higher. Anything with a Porsche badge comes at a premium. Parts, labor, everything. But the market appeal for a well-restored one, even salvage title, is so strong that it allows for really substantial profit margins. It can justify the bigger upfront investment and the extra time.
Right, which loops us back perfectly to that competitive advantage we talked about, your technical expertise. Handling modern complexity is the barrier for most people. Let's start with ADS.
Okay.
Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. When we say calibration, what exactly are we adjusting?
You're basically reteaching the car's senses. Think radar sensors, usually in the bumpers, for things like adaptive cruise control. Then there are cameras, often near the rearview mirror for lane keeping assists, maybe traffic sign recognition, proximity sensors too. Any kind of physical knock or replacement can throw these systems completely out of whack.
So let me get this straight. If I replace a bumper cover, or even just the windshield, calibration is needed.
Absolutely required. Mandatory. Windshield replacement means camera calibration, bumper repair, or replacement. Radar sensors need calibration. Even doing significant suspension work or just an alignment can change the car's stance enough to require it.
And this is where doing it yourself saves a ton.
Huge savings, both time and money, compared to subletting it to a dealer or specialized shop.
Okay, what about static versus dynamic calibration? What's the difference and what gear do you need?
Right. Static calibration happens in the shop. You need these very specific targets. They look like mats or patterns placed at precise distances and heights from the car. You use a scan tool to tell the sensors, okay, this is straight ahead. Dynamic calibration is done on the road. You drive the car, usually under specific conditions like speed and road type, and the system sort of self-learns by watching the lane markings in other vehicles.
Any essential tool.
You need a high-end scan tool, either the factory one or a professional aftermarket unit like an Autel or Launch, loaded with the right software for that specific vehicle make. Your basic OBD code reader, I won't even touch this stuff.
Gotcha. That specialized tool is the key.
It's a major barrier to entry that you, with an engineering background, are likely already comfortable with or can quickly master.
All right, moving to another complex area. Hybrids and EVs. This is definitely an emerging niche. Beyond the obvious safety stuff, how do you even assess battery health at an auction? Replacing that pack seems like the financial kiss of death.
That's a really sharp question, and the honest answer is you often can't fully verify it on the spot. It's risky. The second you see any significant damage near the battery housing itself, or crucially, if the car has any signs of water intrusion, even minor flooding, you just walk away. It's a hard pass.
So what kind of damage are you looking for on a hybrid or EV?
You're looking for damage that's clearly external and unrelated to the high voltage system, cosmetic stuff, suspension issues, maybe a problem with an auxiliary component. But if the main battery looks compromised, avoid it. If that battery needs replacing, you're likely spending more than the car's worth, easily $5,000 plus, often much more. You'll be underwater fast.
Okay, avoid battery damage. Let's talk safety protocols then. This is non-negotiable. Beyond don't touch the orange cables, what are the absolute must-dos?
First rule, always assume the high voltage battery is energized, always. You need proper lockout tagout procedures. Find the high voltage service disconnect, it's usually a big plug or switch, disable it, and then physically secure it so nobody can accidentally re-energize the system while you're working.
And protective gear.
Absolutely essential. Certified Class 0 lineman's gloves. These are the thick rubber insulating gloves, usually worn with leather protectors over them. You wear these anytime you're working near any high voltage component. Seriously, this isn't hobbyist stuff. The voltages can be lethal. Safety first, always.
That level of rigor is definitely what sets a pro apart. Okay, we know what cars to look for, we know how to handle the tricky repairs. Let's shift to the money and strategy. Our sources had that great example, a 2021 Camry flip. Made $4,600 profit, took about 25 hours of work. That works out to $184 an hour effective rate. That feels like a solid target.
It's a great target, but hitting it requires serious discipline, especially during acquisition. You absolutely cannot get emotionally attached to a car at auction. You need that valuation formula, and you need to stick to your maximum bid limit calculated before the bidding even starts.
Let's break down that formula again. Max bid is market value times 0.80 minus estimated repairs minus fees minus your target profit. Why anchor at 80% of market value?
That 80% or 0.80 multiplier is your main cushion against risk. Remember, rebuilt titles always sell at a discount, typically 15% to 25% less than a clean title car. So starting at 80% builds in that buffer. It ensures you still have a good margin, even if the market's a bit slow or your repair estimate was slightly off.
Could you ever push that higher, maybe 85%?
You could, maybe. If you're extremely confident in a super hot market for a specific model, like maybe an F-150 right now, but 80% is the safer, more standard approach for consistent flipping, you need to bake your own risk tolerance into that number.
And you have to be ruthless about adding in all the hidden costs, right?
Oh yeah. The auction buyer's fee that can sting, sometimes 5 to 10% of the purchase price. Then there's transport costs to get the car, maybe storage fees, and definitely the state inspection fees to get it retitled as rebuilt. It all adds up.
The other huge piece here is parts sourcing. Paying retail means failure, basically.
Pretty much, you absolutely have to leverage the secondary market effectively.
So where are the best places for late model parts at a good discount?
Online marketplaces are your friend. Think carpart.com, maybe eBay Motors. Specifically, you want to find salvage yards that specialize in newer vehicles, say focusing on inventory from the last 5-10 years. These yards are often parting out cars totaled for reasons other than massive structural damage. Your target needs to be getting parts, on average, for about 50% less than new OEM prices. If you can't consistently hit that kind of discount, the profit margins just evaporate.
Makes sense. Efficiency is also critical for hitting that target hourly rate. The sources mentioned a 30-day quick flip formula. How does that break down?
Right. It's about minimizing downtime. Week 1, acquisition, detailed damage assessment, and ordering all the parts you need simultaneously. Don't even turn a wrench until the parts are on their way.
Okay, week 2.
That's your heavy lifting week. All mechanical and any structural repairs get done.
Week 3.
Bodywork, paint, finish work like 80s calibration, and then thorough road testing to shake out any bugs.
And week 4 is all about the sale.
Exactly. Professional detailing make it shine. High quality photos are crucial. Then aggressive but smart pricing to get it sold quickly. And this leads into avoiding the over-restoration trap.
Right. Why is chasing absolute perfection actually bad for profit?
Because that rebuilt title discount, it's permanent. Buyers expect 15-20% off, regardless of whether your paint job is concours quality or just, really good.
Yeah.
Spending an extra $1,500 to make something flawless when the market won't pay maybe $500 more for that perfection, that's just wasted money and, importantly, wasted time. Focus on safety, drivability, and good visual appeal. Maximize your hourly rate, not your inner artist.
Good point. Okay, back to auctions quickly. What kind of damage should we actively target?
You want the easy stuff, relatively speaking, purely cosmetic damage. Bumpers, fenders, doors, lights, or single, clearly identifiable mechanical failures. Minor rear-end hits without frame involvement can also be good candidates.
And the things to run away from.
The big 3 nightmares. Obvious frame damage needing major pulling. Any sign of flood damaged water just wreaks havoc on modern electronics. And widespread airbag deployment.
Why are airbags such a deal breaker?
Cost. Replacing multiple airbags, sensors, and control modules in a modern SUV or truck. You could easily be looking at $6,000, $8,000, even more just in parts and specialized labor. That often eats up your entire potential profit right there.
Okay, avoid those. So the car's fixed, inspected, looks great, time to sell. We know about the 15-25% discount for the rebuild title.
Yep, so price it accordingly. If the clean version sells for $20 you should be listing somewhere in the $15,000 to $17,000 range. Price it competitively to sell, but always leave yourself a little wiggle room, maybe 5-10% for negotiation. Buyers like to feel they got a deal.
And transparency is absolutely crucial here, isn't it? Given the rebuilt title status.
Non-negotiable. Your listings need to shout about the good stuff, the modern tech, Apple CarPlay, safety features, but you must be completely upfront about the rebuilt status and detail the repairs you performed. Encourage pre-purchase inspections. Hiding anything is the fastest way to ruin your reputation and potentially land you in legal trouble. Honesty builds trust.
Buyers also need clarity on insurance and warranty.
Right.
Factory warranty is gone, right?
Instantly voided the moment it gets a salvage title. That original manufacturer warranty doesn't apply anymore.
And insurance.
It's obtainable for rebuilt titles, but different. You can get liability coverage easily enough. But getting comprehensive in collision? full coverage can sometimes be trickier, might require specific insurance companies, and the premiums are almost always higher figure, maybe 20% more, sometimes even more than that, compared to a clean title car. You absolutely need to communicate this clearly to potential buyers up front, manage their expectations.
One last crucial point, especially for folks doing this on the side. Legal limits. How many cars can you flip before needing a dealer license?
Yeah, this varies by state, but most places have a limit. It's typically somewhere around 4 to 6 vehicles sold within a 12-month period. Exceed that, and you're generally required to get fully licensed as a dealer, which involves bonding, insurance, designated lot space, and a lot more regulatory hurdles.
So know your local rules.
Definitely check your state's DMV regulations. If you plan to scale this up significantly, you'll need to factor in the costs and complexity of becoming a licensed dealer.
Okay, so summing up this deep dive. It seems flipping late model salvage, 18 and up, can be really profitable, but only if you're disciplined financially and quick with the turnaround.
Exactly. The key pillars seem to be smart acquisition using that 80% rule, super efficient repairs leveraging your technical skills, especially with ADAs and maybe hybrids EVs, and then sharp marketing combined with total honesty.
And that technical edge, handling the complex systems everyone else avoids, that seems to be the real differentiator. It lets you play in a higher margin space.
It absolutely does. You sidestep a lot of the competition fighting over basic cosmetic fixes on older, less complex cars, which really leaves us with a final, maybe provocative thought for you to chew on. Given that specialization seems key to hitting that high hourly rate and maximizing profit, where should you concentrate your efforts and capital? Do you focus on turning through high volume, relatively simpler models like the Miata or Camry to keep capital moving quickly? Or do you lean hard into the complex, higher margin stuff like those ADS-loaded luxury SUVs or maybe even EVs where your specific engineering skills give you the biggest possible advantage and return on your time?
Choosing your specialty and then really mastering it.
That seems to be the path to maximizing your returns in this game. Decide where your skills provide the most leverage and go deep.